How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, I want to thank Honest to Truth for sending the article that you send me. Thank you very, very much. Well, my royal family, this is one of these type of videos. You need to go get your shit. Okay, while y'all doing that, I want to make a couple of announcements. I have not been getting all of my emails on time. Some of my emails been coming in delayed. They'll have the dates on it. Some of them I'm getting literally 2 weeks late. So if some people are feeling some kind of way, it is not me on my end. Did y'all hear that? I'm not getting all my emails. All right. Now, y'all know if y'all don't hear from me for a while, either I'm not getting the information, unquote emails, or I'm not feeling well and I'm trying to deal with my immediate situation. Because some people be on me and stuff. And another thing, don't come to my channel calling me a feminist. I don't like that. It's certain things. I can take a lot. Y'all can say whatever y'all can say, because I don't get on y'all. Y'all entitled to your opinion or anything. But certain things, because I'm human like anyone else, don't call me no damn feminist. I ain't never ever stand one. I can remember having a conversation with one of my elders in my early 20s about feminism and all of that. So how strong I speak and forceful I speak, I have the utmost respect for black men only. And even though I worked a non-traditional field, I'm a certified welder. I'm a very traditional Hebrew woman. I'm going to leave it right there. So I didn't give y'all enough time giving these announcements to go get your shit. Anytime you're on the True Royal Family or my backup channel, True Royal, always have it on deck. You know what? Your weed, your wine, whatever your drink is. I did have a smoothie, but I drank it all up because it was that juicy. Now, my royal family, this video that I'm going to present is going to be epic, and it's something that I've been talking about like a broke ass record. There is a cost messing with royalty, and what I'm going to present is even going to shock the person honest to truth. Oh, I got some double stuff for you. When you mess with royalty, when you do wrong, we are out of our captivity, and the things that we are going to continue to see will increase. I can guarantee this, my royal family, and I rarely guarantee anything. So, my royal family, I have videos to show, and I have something to read. Now, we see here that the jury said that this murderer was guilty of first-degree manslaughter and second-degree manslaughter and got essentially no time. But we need to go on a journey to give a full picture, and also we're going to see the costs that it costs certain people in this case not doing the right thing, having nefarious thoughts, having things deep within their heart. And I like how the masses on the world stage call them to the carpet, but the ultimate say is Yahweh. So things that I didn't even know about this case, I'm going to present. So this is this attorney here. His name, if I'm correct, I think his name is Peter. Let's see here. Will it pop up here? Let's see, will it pop up here? Okay, yeah. Peter Orpit. That's the best that I can pronounce his name. Don't look too good, huh? He was the first one on the Daunte Wright murdering. He was murdered. He was outright murdered. That's what we seen on the world stage. He was the first one that had his paws on this case. And let's see what he had to say about this case. Longtime prosecutor who gave up Kim Porter's case. It broke my heart. I want y'all to pay real close attention to language on everything that I'm presenting.
Now tonight, only on Nightcast, the local prosecutor who gave up the shooting case of Daunte Wright says the public outrage almost broke him. For the first time, Washington County Attorney Pete Orpit's talking about the barrage of insults, protests, and threats he faced last spring. It followed his decision to charge former Brooklyn Center police officer Kim Potter with second-degree manslaughter. Tonight, Orpit sits down with investigative reporter Ryan Raich to look back at what he calls the most challenging time in his career.
Yeah, Pete Orpit has been a Minnesota prosecutor for decades. As the Washington County attorney, he has never shied away from the spotlight. But this past spring, there was nothing he could do to escape it. He ended up walking away from one of the most high-profile cases of his career.
I was disappointed that I gave it back, but I accepted that I had to.
Pete Orpit thought nothing could slow the tenacity of his office, no matter how big the case or how loud the resistance.
Bring murder charges! Bring murder charges!
Then came both at once.
I feel like this is premeditated murder.
What happened?
Extremists decided that they knew more of the facts than I did, and they decided to take it out on my family and me.
3 days after former officer Kim Potter shot and killed Daunte Wright, Orpit charged her with second-degree manslaughter, saying she mistook her gun for the taser. Outrage ensued almost immediately.
You would not tolerate this.
Activists camped outside Orpit's home for multiple weekends in a row.
Pete, why are you running off?
I got a lot of hard bark on me. I can handle it, and I thought I could, even when it continued multiple nights. But it was very, very hard on my family. It got abusive. It was humiliating to be called or insinuate that I'm some kind of a racist. You know, they call that extremist activism, and I call it extremist assholism.
Do you think you went too far?
Absolutely not. I think going too far is allowing police officers to kill people with impunity.
Nikema Levy-Armstrong is a local activist and attorney.
We have zero faith and confidence in Pete Orpit's willingness to bring murder charges in this case.
She led the calls to not only have former Officer Potter charged with murder instead of manslaughter, but to have Orpit removed from the case altogether.
I got the sense that he was not prepared for the level of discord. The fact that a county attorney all the way in Stillwater is overseeing something that happened in Hennepin County. Stillwater is overwhelmingly white. It is far removed from what happens here in Hennepin County. So he wasn't in a position to fairly prosecute this case.
At one point, Orpit tried to address the criticism head on.
I actually went out and tried to talk sense to the people and say, you might not know all the facts. They're impervious to that.
Orpit says once Daunte Wright's family joined the protests, he knew there was no other option but to hand off the case.
Because you needed them for the case.
Yes, morally I do. You know, I could try it without them, but I don't do that.
The Kim Potter case eventually landed on the desk of Attorney General Keith Ellison, who earlier this month announced an additional charge of first-degree manslaughter, but stopped short of a murder charge demanded by protesters. After what he experienced, Orpit now says handing these cases to the Attorney General is the right move.
It broke my heart. It broke my spirit. 35 years of working on this, and I do recognize reform needed to come in many areas. But in this case, it became so vitriolic that it really just, I felt like it broke my spirit.
The cases keep going to Keith Ellison, but can Keith Ellison keep taking them? Kevin, tomorrow night on Nightcast, we sit down with the Attorney General and ask him about the growing calls to have his office and his office only prosecute officer-involved shootings here in Minnesota.
More from Ryan.
Okay. Now, there was some key things that were said, my royal family. He said it broke his spirit. The reporter said, cause. See, these words that are coming out of the enemy's mouth, it is really Yahweh directing everything. That's why I said it is extremely important to pay attention to language. All right. Now, what I forgot to tell the royal family was that video was published September 14th, 2021. And then they updated it January 10th, 2022. All right. Now, I keep saying there's a cost. See, he been doing business as usual. Business as usual. And then this shit where they send it off to Keith Ellison, that don't change the royal family when they use somebody that look like you and I. I've been saying for the longest, anybody that have a so-called position of power that look like you and I, they have demonstrated something to the enemy that they are willing to do and go above and beyond to prosecute us. So he knew what he was doing when he sent it over to that coon. But who you looking at right now, let's find out what's going on in his life now.
His family and local leaders are all mourning the death of Washington County Attorney Pete Orpett. He died yesterday at his home in Stillwater after a long battle with an illness. Orpett served as county attorney since 2011. Longtime prosecutor charged former Brooklyn Center police officer Kimberly Potter with second-degree manslaughter in the death of Dante Wright. But then he walked away from the case because of protests directed right at him, demanding tougher charges. Previously, he served as an assistant Hennepin County attorney in the Violent Crimes Division, prosecuting homicides, robberies, and weapons cases. Plus, he spent time as general counsel to the Minnesota Department of Corrections, and he spent time in the Attorney General's office. Orpett was also appointed by the governor to serve on the Minnesota Sentencing Guidelines Commission from 2016 to 2020. Before his legal career, Orpett taught high school history, and he served in the U.S. Marine Corps. His term as Washington County attorney, that is, was set to expire at the end of this year. He had just announced that he was planning to retire. Pete Orpett was 66 years old.
That is quite young in my eyes. So, he's dead. He had stomach cancer. There was a cost. He paid the ultimate cost. Could you have imagined, my royal family, the anguish that he went through, experiencing cancer, let alone stomach cancer? That was a hell of a journey to go through as he was checking out. I am so glad that I am not quick to do stories. I know y'all want me to do one all the time, but I deal with my immediate situation. And like I said, I allow things to possibly play itself out. So when I received what I received, I said, I'm going to wait. And really what I was waiting for, I didn't know this was going to come about. I was waiting to get another type of response on some other things that I'm going to present to the royal family. This really, really deep. So, let's see here. Oh yeah, we're going to get on this judge right here. And I have something to read to the royal family about Judge Regina Cho. Well, in this article, I'm going to only read the juicy parts and what is necessary. So, Regina Cho is retiring this year. Yes, there is a cost messing with royalty. And the article that I'm going to present to the royal family is going to point out some things that is quite deep. So, that trial, which led to Porter's conviction and prison sentence, became the hallmark of Cho's 20-year career on the bench, but also made for emotional days and restless nights. Now, fewer than 6 weeks after she sent Porter to prison on a 2-year sentence for the death of Dante Wright, Cho will hang up her robe next month. I thought about the trial a whole lot away from the courtroom. Cho, 68, said in an interview with the Star Tribune on Friday, one day after Governor Tom Walz announced her retirement. I would wake up in the middle of the night thinking about it. We had this rule at home: no talking about powder after 8 o'clock, Cho said of her pack, with her husband Jack Moore, and then we be in bed at 10. And I'll go, I just thought about something, Jack. I sleep a lot better now. Let's just say that. Cho was unapologetic about letting her emotions surface in the courtroom on February 18th as she explained the sentence, which fell well below state guidelines to stun the disapproval of the Wright's family members and the supporters. Potter will serve in prison 16 months of a 24-month sentence of the death of Dante Wright, 20, a black man killed when Potter fired her gun instead of her taser at him during a traffic stop. It was the saddest case I have seen in 20 years, and I had a lot of sad cases, Cho said. You try to control emotions, but judges are human beings. We're going to leave it right there. Now, they say here that Cho could have sought re-election in the fall to another 6-year term, but the state mandatory retirement age of jurors of 70 would have meant her departure from the bench by July 2023 after barely 1.5 years. Instead, Cho submitted her retirement letter to Walz on February 15th, 3 days before the imposed Potter's prison sentence. She's adamant that Potter's trial did not influence her decision. You a damn fucking lie. You lying. You lying. So, let's go back over some things. She said, now think about it. 6 weeks, fewer than 6 weeks, you announcing your retirement. Then, you in the bad. Now, this is something I've been talking about for the longest, my royal family, and I've been able to point it out twice. This is the second time. I pointed it out when that cop killed that sister, and he was having night terrors. Breonna Taylor, remember that? And his wife told it. The cop's wife told it. They up past midnight tripping. All right. Now, this couple here. Back to this lying ass, racist ass judge. She said she thought about this a lot. See, it's on her conscience. She said, I would wake up in the middle of the night thinking about it. We had a rule at home. No talking about Potter after 8 o'clock. So she talking excessively at home. You in the bed with your man. Let's keep it real and raw over here on the True Royal family and True Royal. She talking to her man, Jack, and then in bed at 10. Then she want to talk some more about it. Okay, you don't supposed to talk about it at 8 no more. Let's cut it off. Let's just live our life. Then you in the bed with your man, and then at 10 o'clock at night, oh, baby, I got one more thing to say. All right. Folks in the bed at 10 o'clock at night, you know, you've been out in the world doing your job. You done ate your dinner, took your bath and ate your dinner, or whatever you got to do, and you get in the bed with each other. It's time to crack some backs or whatever y'all do. True Royal gonna keep it real. I'm very married. I ain't talking to my husband at 10 o'clock about shit. All right? I need him to put me to sleep, or vice versa, or we put each other to sleep. I'm just keeping it real. My husband don't want to hear no yeah. And I don't want to hear no yeah about anything, about our grown-ass kids or anything. We into each other. So something got to be really weighing down heavily on your psyche where now it's affecting your marital bed. Oh, yeah, y'all know I'm going to keep it real, raw, and juicy. All right? Have I said enough, my royal family?
It is the sentence and judgment of this court that you shall be committed to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 24 months.
The former Brooklyn Center police officer wasn't the only one drawing attention when she received a 2-year sentence in February. So too was the Hennepin County District Court judge. Judge Regina Chu called the Kim Potter trial the saddest case in her 20 years on the bench. Now she plans to retire. Chu actually submitted her resignation on February 15th, 3 days before she imposed Potter's prison sentence. But it wasn't announced publicly until this week when Governor Tim Walz put out a call for applicants to fill the job. Chu, who is 68, became the first Asian American woman district judge in Minnesota when she was appointed by then Governor Jesse Ventura in 2002. Her last day on the bench will be May 6th.
All right. Y'all got that, my royal family? Y'all got it loud and clear. Now, I've been saying my royal family like a broke-ass record. There's a cost. She will be marked for life for doing this, and it's affecting her again and again. He didn't do what he was supposed to do. He done checked out. But before he checked out, it was affecting him and it was affecting his family. Now, one more little thing I got to show the royal family to, rub it in deeper. Somebody else got to pay this cost. Old Keith Coon-ass Ellison. And he said he ain't challenging anything.
Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison speaking out in the recent sentencing of former Brooklyn Center police officer Kimberly Potter.
Ellison's team had argued for more than 7 years in prison for the deadly traffic stop shooting, but Judge Regina Chu gave Potter 16 months behind bars, well below the sentencing guidelines.
In a conversation with our Paul Bloom, Ellison says his office will not appeal Judge Chu's ruling.
Officer Potter made a mistake that ended tragically. She never intended to hurt anyone.
Look, I'm not going to second guess Judge Chu. I will say that it is my hope that sentences like this could be used to try to prevent the next tragedy. We believe that precedential cases would indicate that the court had the discretion and made the proper factual findings. So we don't anticipate any realistic chance that the case would be reversed, the sentencing would be reversed, so we're not gonna put resources into doing something we think will be futile.
To you, in hindsight now, is that still a first-degree manslaughter case?
Well, I mean, 12 Minnesotans who were absolutely objective found beyond a reasonable doubt that it was. The facts supported that charge, and I'm convinced that it was the right charge for the facts that we had.
Katie, I understand a mother's love, and I am sorry I broke your heart. My heart is broken for all of you.
Well, let me tell you, we never thought that Kim Potter was a monster. We thought that she led a pretty good life and did things the right way, but she made a fatal, lethal, reckless mistake that the law doesn't permit, right? And so when she made the apology, it seemed like the kind of person that she was, you know? She's the kind of person who would apologize. But I think the apology did help, because I know that they were upset about what they saw in the booking photo. Again, a booking photo was an instant in time, and somebody asked her to smile, and she did. What I don't think anybody understood is that the rights would see that and be offended by it, and they were.
Kim Potter murdered my son, and he died April 11th. Today, the justice system murdered him all over again.
And our community needs healing. The rights need healing. The community needs healing. We all do. We should commit ourselves to the reforms that we should seek, and we should understand that the only thing we can do for Daunte right now is try to prevent the next person from suffering this tragedy.
That is really, really sad. That's why I wanted to replay that again. And Keith Ellison also will pay the cost. I keep saying it over and over. There's a cost messing with royalty. You get no sleep. You get no peace. You get absolutely nothing. Moab, you're not even allowed in the kingdom. Isn't it ironic, my royal family? All right? Let's not lose sight of these people who are judge and jury in business as usual in a dying ass system. I keep saying, my royal family, the court of public opinion, they tired of the entire system. So now these pigs are depending heavily on the DAs and the judges. And trust and believe, her racist ass, even though they have some little mandatory thing that's set up that you have to retire and all that stuff, they make provisions for them. She could have sat on that bench 4 more years or however more years. She knew she wasn't going to get elected. She had already been influenced. And I was able to prove to y'all that first the DA asked for an enhancement. Then they changed their mind and said go below the standards. This was all orchestrated. At the end of the day, there's a cost. So what I need my royal family to do is to render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.